Hey folks, welcome back. So many people have asked me about swells and how they relate to surf fishing on the Oregon coast, okay? So let's talk about what the swell should be when you're going surf fishing on the Oregon coast. And before I begin, let me say that everyone has a different tolerance level. Um, depending on how what your skill set are or what your experience are, or how much risk you want to take. Okay, so we're going to take a couple of minutes, so this is going to be a short video. Okay, all right. Now, before you go surf fishing on the Oregon coast, the most important thing is to check how big the swell is. It's just for your own safety. Now, when I first started surf fishing, I didn't do this. I didn't know. I always thought, okay, I can go anytime, regardless of waves. And I never thought about waves and how they affect you when you surf fish. When actually they do. From a safety perspective, it's super, super important. And I began paying attention to it after one trip. I went to Newport and I almost had a close accident, really, really close. And after that day, it really scared me because I thought I was going to get washed out. From that point on, it scared the crap out of me. When I got home, I began doing research. And so I'm going to tell you what I look for, what swell I look for before going surf fishing. My tolerance level is about 5 foot at around 8 to 10 seconds. And now, like I said, everyone has a different tolerance level. Maybe you're 6'8" and you're much taller. You're gonna tolerate a little bit higher waves. But for me, I look for any swells that are 5 foot or less. And as you can see here, for Sunday and Monday, the swells is about 3 to 5 feet. Okay. After I see the height, I look at the period. And if you look at here, it's 3.5 feet at 12 seconds. So that's all right. Even though the period is kind of long, the height is kind of shallow, short. So the waves don't really pose a threat. When the waves have a higher period, what happens is they ride far up the beach. So when the waves come, it's going to keep on coming. Okay, because the period is so long. Now, when the period is short, the waves come and pass pretty quick. So it's not much of a concern. But at 4 feet at 12 seconds, it's going to come past you a little bit longer. And because of the longer period, it's going to go further up the beach. You've probably experienced it. Like on some days when you're surf fishing, you notice like the waves are just coming past you for a long time, and it just keeps on coming. That's because it has a long period. And on days like those, it's pretty uncomfortable because, well, you're trying to walk out and cast, but you can't because the waves keep on pushing far up the beach. And you can go further out once a wave passes you, but you got to understand all the water behind you is going to rush back, and that just makes it really dangerous. So that's why longer periods are just as dangerous as like swell height. Okay, so for me, I look for any waves that are 5 foot, around 10 seconds or less. Anything above that, I just feel it's just too uncomfortable. It's just too hard to deal with. I'm just gonna stay home. And the other thing I want to talk about, excuse me, the other thing I want to mention is websites that I use. There's only 2 websites that I use. The first one you see here, this is Magic Seaweed, and I'll put a link in the description below, so be sure to check it out. Okay. Now, Magic Seaweed is fairly accurate, and it gives you about a week's worth of forecasts. And now remember, obviously these are just a forecast, so they're not accurate. These are, computer prediction, computer models. Just like, the Weather Channel, it's all computer models. So it's not going to be 100% accurate all the time. Now, as the days get closer, let's say within 2 or 3 days, that forecast becomes more accurate. So, anything beyond 4 or 5 days, just take it with a grain of salt. I check magic seaweed all the time. I do it almost hourly. Let's say I plan on going fishing in 3 days. I check it. I'm not kidding. I check it hourly because it does change hourly. And sometimes it changes the day before. Let's say tomorrow you're going fishing and at 9 p.m. you check the swell. You think, okay, great. It's only like 3 to 4 feet, around 6 seconds. But when you wake up, like, oh, Jesus, it went back up to 8 foot. And that does happen. That's just the way Mother Nature is. It's just totally unpredictable. So before you go out surf fishing, it's very, very important for your own safety. Be sure to check the swell. And magic seaweed is a really good one. Now, there is another website I use. This one here. This is surfforecast.com. And I'll put the link to this website too below. Surf Forecast gives you a little bit more detail. The thing I like about Surf Forecast, it has the energy, this row right down here. And you can see 5 foot at 12 seconds, you're looking at about 600 swell energy. And also here, 5 foot 12 seconds, 589 swell energy. Now the swell energy really depends on the height and the period, but basically the basic idea is you want the period to be around 6-7 seconds, at 6 to 8 seconds at around 5 foot. So that's my personal comfort level. And not all 5 foot swells are created equal. Let's look at this one. You have 5 foot at 12 seconds. Okay. You have 600 swell energy, and you come down here a little bit further in the week, 5 foot at 13 seconds, and you can see the swell energy went up a little bit, 878. So we got the same swell height, but a little bit longer period, and so the energy is going to go up a little bit. And for me, I find that 5 seconds at 10 seconds or less is optimal. Anything over 600 or 700 swell energy, I get too nervous. I say forget it. I'm not gonna risk it. You're talking about your life. So anything over 600, 700, forget it. I'm not going out. Now, many people I talk to say they fish in 6, 7, 8, 10 foot waves, no problem, and that's fine. We all have our different level and skill level, but the higher the waves, you're taking a big risk with your own life. I don't know. I like to live. I really do. I'm not going to take risks like that. If you guys want to, then fine. Just be really careful out there. My other recommendation is when you're surf fishing, don't turn your back on the waves. Be alert. Look around. Go with a buddy. Watch each other. Keep your head on a swivel, look for that swell, and most importantly, check those apps, check the website to make sure the swells are low enough so it doesn't pose a danger to your own safety. Now, both of these websites have locations for various beaches along the West Coast. So whether you're in California or you're in Oregon or Washington, they have forecasts for most beaches on the West Coast. Now, when you look at, let's say you look at a forecast for, let's say, Sunset Beach in up near Astoria, Oregon, and then you look for one that's in Newport, the difference is not going to be very big. Maybe 1 foot, maybe slightly more, but the difference is going to be very, very little. When you talk about ocean swells, okay, we're talking about thousands and thousands of miles of wave, okay? So when it comes to land, it doesn't really make much difference where you're at. When you look at Lincoln City, Newport, it's just going to be very, very similar. And this is Gold Beach, a little bit south. We have 5'8", 4'7", 4'6". In Newport, we got 5'7", 5'8", 4'7". So it's really not all that big of a difference. And if you're fishing, say, Sunset Beach, and then you say, oh, it's too rough, I'm going to go to Tillamook, it's just not going to be much of a difference. It's going to be pretty much the same. Now, if you're fishing Sunset Beach and you want to go down all the way to, say, Brookings, that might be, okay? That might, because the distance is far enough that you might be able to get maybe a lower swell, or vice versa, okay? Sometimes the swells are high up north and sometimes they're lower in the south and vice versa. But the main thing I want to talk to you about is extremely important for you to check the swell height before you go surf fishing here on the Oregon coast. And you have to kind of develop your own history of what you're what you're comfortable with. I surf fish a lot. I've noticed 5 foot around 8 seconds, 10 seconds or less is just my optimal comfort zone. Okay, so you just have to find your own. Please don't take risks. It's not worth it. Those fish are always going to be there. If the swell's too rough, just wait another day. Go fishing in freshwater. Do something else. Stay in the bays. Go crabbing. It's just not worth your life. Okay, so that's about it. I know lots of people asked me over the years, and I wanted to do this for a long time, but I never got to it. But anyways, hope you guys like this video. Stay safe out there. Be alert. Go with a friend. Watch each other. Okay, so hope you guys catch a lot of surf perch. Have fun fishing. Tight lines.